Well, thank you guys for having me. Take a card, pass them along. I'm our Director of Business Development for Finger Lakes Technologies Group. I have just a couple slides that I want to click through and share some background. Guys, the reason that I'm here is visibility and awareness, right? We are not looking for investment, we're looking for support from the community and engagement. And we've already had a lot of success with Commerce Chenango and other local businesses. So sorry to put my backside to you. It's great that you guys have this here. Thank you so much. Okay.
It's the first time we've ever used this.
Good.
Really?
Don't tell her that.
Oh, it's fantastic. This is great.
We use this all the time.
You guys should use this for all your
Is this
board meetings.
We turn on
All
CNN.
right. So from a culture perspective, right, we're one of the best companies to work for in New York State. We've been on the Inc. 500 list for the last 3 years in a row. So really cool culture. Just gonna populate a bunch of these bullets. We have a lot of history, guys. Our organization was actually an ILEC, or an incumbent phone company, started back in 1926. So while we're a new technology company, we've actually been around for a long time. We're a family-owned business. Paul Griswold, our president and CEO, he's fourth generation, and his kids actually work in the business. We're fifth generation family-owned business. We did just get acquired by First Light, who's based out of Albany. We will be Finger Lakes Technologies Group, a First Light company, so we're not losing our brand or identity. All it means is a cash infusion for the organization. Fiber is very expensive to build. It costs anywhere between $25,000 and $35,000 per mile to build fiber optic for telecommunications and internet services. And we do that all privately funded. So we don't go out for state grants, local grants. We do it all through customer acquisition. We've actually reinvested $41 million of our own money to continue to build out our network. We build a fiber local loop into the business. What does that mean? It means fiber right into the business. So if we were to bring fiber into this building, it would come right into the telco closet. We're not using somebody else's services for connectivity. Finger Lakes was actually started in 1995 as a spin-off of Ontario and Trumansburg, or ILEC. And now we have 2,500 miles built throughout the state. This is actually our headquarters, just so you guys can see it. Pretty cool building. We built it 3 years ago, just tying on to our culture. It's our back patio. If you guys come up to Victor, please let us know. We'd love to host you for an event.
Looks sunny.
No, Rochester's not sunny. Just gonna click through here. I've said a lot of this. This is a great slide that shows everything that we do. So at the core is the fiber optic network. And just like a Frontier or a Spectrum, we provide local, long distance, and internet services to business-only customers. So we work with residential on our ILEC side, but we don't do residential on our business side. The challenge there is it costs a ton of money to build out the fiber, and we can't in our rural footprint, most of upstate New York is very rural, it's too expensive to build out to homes. So what we do is we partner with local organizations like a ProTel or other wireless builders, and we'll provide wireless or DAS, distributed antenna services, to residential homes. And that's something that we're looking at doing in this community as well. So we do a lot of engineering. 60% of our staff is engineering. We'll go out to a business and do an assessment, make sure they've got all the right technology to deploy our services. The bottom left-hand side, you'll see we have our colo and bunker facility. It's an old Army facility in Romulus, just southeast of Geneva, where we have 700 acres and 64 nuclear warhead bunkers.
Got white deer too, don't you?
And white deer.
Yeah.
The only population of white
Must be the
deer.
nukes.
Exactly. But what we've done is from an economic development perspective, turned that into data center for our customers. We have a network operations center up in Victor, our headquarters. So 24/7 by 365, they can call in if there's any problems with their services. And then the other side of our business is that we're a Cisco VAR, or a value-added reseller. So we do large infrastructure, route, switch, wireless, IP telephony, and hosted phone systems. So when you talk about the cloud, we provide the cloud services on the other side of the business. We are on state contract. I share this, it's a laundry list of certifications, but what it means is that we've really invested in our engineering staff. We're the best of the best. Click through just to a couple other slides here. This is just an example of what we do from a DAS perspective. This is actually a DAS system that we did in Saratoga for the racetrack, right? They wanted it to blend in and you can barely see that at the top of the antenna, right? So what we believe is that wireless is the new wave of technology for residential. Because of that cost to build, you're gonna have to do wireless. So as I said, we have partners. This is just some samples of what we've done. What actually brought us here to Norwich was Verizon Wireless. So we build fiber to cell towers, and then along the way, we'll build throughout the local towns and communities and start to garner relationships with the local businesses. So really, they're the ones funding the build of the fiber in communities like this. But this is an example of a DAS system that we've done for them. Yes, we have our own trucks, our own crews, our own facilities. You guys probably saw them on Main Street while we were building the fiber along 12. Again, we're a phone company, so we can be out during all kinds of weather, repair the fiber optics if it goes down. It's just a bigger picture of it. Really good view of our fiber network. So we go all the way out to Buffalo. We're closing this loop right here down into Alfred. We go up into Rochester, Syracuse. Then we come down along right your path here through Norwich down to Binghamton, and then everywhere central in New York State. With the acquisition from First Light, we'll actually go up to Bangor, Maine now. And just for example, NBT Bank. So it's one of the first contracts that we acquired when we came down here. They're extremely excited to work with us. Now they'll have us to provide services all the way up to Maine and through the Northeast.
You know, on that map, you're talking about your ProTel connection and you
Yes.
subcontract with them to do that out on the hinterlands, but is that Route 12 corridor as far as you're going to go in terms
No.
of business?
No, so this is what right when I started with the company 7 years ago, our fiber network was about this big. We had about 300 miles of fiber. We go into a community, build one main backbone, which here is the Route 12 corridor, and then we build off of that. So we have an event this Friday, thanks to the Chamber, and Liz Bunt specifically, in New Berlin, where we're meeting with 6 local businesses to help build fiber up into New Berlin. So again, we've got to acquire a customer to then be able to build the fiber. It's not a field of dreams. We don't build it and then hope they'll come. We've got to have the guaranteed revenue first, and then we build the fiber. Answer your question?
Sure.
Okay. And again, with the First Light acquisition, with them being Albany headquartered, they go out to about Utica. So we really see that those networks starting to grow together and us to continue to build out the fiber network. Just a sampling of some customers, some notables that you guys would know. Wegmans, Cornell University, Verizon Wireless, a lot of colleges that we work with. So very high-end enterprise businesses, all the way down to your Main Street florist and pizza shop, and everything in between. And this is just a view of what FLTG Park looks like. This is what we own. We own the Q area. That's the 700 acres. The whole park itself is 10,000 acres. Diverse fiber access through there. So when you come into the facility, if anybody's interested in a tour, let me know. You come in through a triple fence to a guardhouse, warehouse where we own and maintain all of our fiber optics. That's where everything gets shipped to. Our trucks are housed out of there. This is the guardhouse when you come in. Just pictures of before and after. Again, so from an economic development perspective, when we come into a community or an area or an office, we revitalize it. And you'll see that if you come to our Norwich office as well. Again, pictures before and after. It was pretty run down. When the Army shuts down, they literally just drop it and leave. They left their coffee mugs on their desks. So we had to clean it. That's an aerial view of the bunkers. You'll see every other one is recessed. They're bomb-proof, weatherproof, 4-foot thick walls. They're built on concrete, so a great place to store data. It's just a picture of them.
Are they
Again,
they must be
before and
underground, right?
They're not. They're
really?
just above ground, right? So you can see the grass mound up over.
We got some of the Baldwinsville, the old Three Rivers area.
They're pretty neat.
It's designed for.
This is a view of what it looks like
Pouring
inside,
out.
right? So we're competing with major data centers in Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse, looking at trying to bring in companies like Google, like Netflix, that need massive bandwidth and all the compliancies that we have. It's just the inside of it again. Before and after renovations. It's pretty neat. This is where our cloud services reside. We're both HIPAA and SOC 2 compliant. HIPAA being the healthcare compliancy that you guys probably sign 1 million waivers for when you go to the doctor's office.
You mean nobody can ever get my medical record?
That's right.
You don't have a bridge in Brooklyn you wanna tell me?
Not even your wife.
And I think that's really it. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of who we are, the history, what we bring to your community. Again, we're looking for engagement and trying to get a better understanding of what your concerns are as a community. So this was, again, thank you for setting this up. I really appreciate it. If there's any questions now, I'll answer them.
Yeah, I got a couple. I really don't understand a lot of this stuff. I understand your fiber optic. I remember Global Crossing before that
Sure.
crashed. Whatever happened to them? I thought they were supposed to be the next big thing.
They
But-
got acquired. They're rolled under someone else now.
Oh, are they?
Bankruptcy and then acquisition
Yeah.
of the fiber
Yeah,
assets.
made Terry McAuliffe rich. The speed, when you said this DAS thing interests me because everybody's saying we need broadband. I see you had a few government entities on your list, Cattaraugus County.
Yep.
You doing anything for schools?
We do. So we work with NYSERNet from the college perspective, and then we do all of the BOCES as well. So we work with school districts directly and through your local BOCES, DCMO and BT BOCES.
So assuming you've got this backbone down Route 12,
Yep.
and I'm 8 or 9 miles away, I used to have Hughes.net, now I've got, what is it, DSL through Verizon. I
Sure.
think it's an improvement, my kids think it's a joke. Well, no, I mean, I
Yeah.
just.
Everybody's
I'm
on
ignorant about
devices, right?
yeah.
On their iPad, iPhone.
So, does the DAS thing with the rural, and I understand the rural thing, I mean, if
Yep.
you've got 4 houses in 6 miles, you're not
Right.
gonna spend $25,000
Yep.
a mile to run the cable out there.
If it were
Does
on
the
the way
DAS
to a,
qualify as broadband?
if it were on the way to another business community, then we would build that 8 or 9 miles. Along the way, then we would do DAS. So DAS would cover a 1 or 2 mile area, but it doesn't cover an expansive. You still
But
need
what
that
does
fiber
DAS
backbone.
give you? Does DAS let
It's
me run the
wireless.
Pentagon from my basement? Which
Not
apparently is
quite,
what's
not
going to
quite.
be
Close.
required. No, seriously, I mean.
But in the 4 areas that we've done DAS, it is a complete and utter replacement for a Spectrum or a Frontier services.
Better?
Right, so you're getting we can go up to 40 gig on our network.
I don't even know what that means.
A lot of bandwidth.
Okay.
Yes. So I think broadband
We can upload
is
25.
the qualifications 7.
25 megabits per second, right,
25 meg.
is the-
Is that what the state is
Get 20.
mandating?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they can get.
The number
they can get
changes
speeds-
all the time.
They can get speeds about twice that with DAS pretty easily if they're attached to the fiber. And the DAS antennas have a range of approximately 3/4 of a mile from the pole mount in a rural setting.
So can you go from antenna to antenna and still?
Correct. You build a set of antennas and they feed off of each other.
Okay, so it's like a cell tower
It is.
kind of deal.
Like a repeater.
It's a filler for a cell tower, so it's a
Okay.
mini or a macro cell instead of a macro cell tower.
If you don't have state grants in your business plan,
Yes.
there's gonna be multiple directions where you're not gonna even be able to put these antennas on because
Correct. It was part of the
cost,
reason.
cost prohibitive.
Part of the reason why our CEO decided to allow us to be acquired by a larger company. It'll mean an infusion of cash for our organization. For us to continue to grow the way that we have in the last 10 years, the only thing is we need more cash. So this is a $30 million cash infusion.
So you don't have Governor Cuomo's plan for your phase 3 of infusion. There's towns like Madison and Lebanon who've gotten quite a bit of money.
So we
From
will
phase 2.
continue to do
How do you fit into that?
what we've done and build broadband to communities the way that we've always done it. Acquire businesses and not get grants. We've seen it actually ruin companies and bankrupt local ILECs because they don't know how to handle the process of obtaining those grants.
You're gonna do it on your own,
That's it.
okay?
Sounds like a plan.
Are the grants too cumbersome?
Yes, so one, you need staff of grant writers, people who understand the system. You need to get connected with the right people, right? You have to fund that money usually upfront.
You don't need a favor.
It's really easy for the companies like a Spectrum or a Verizon to go ahead and acquire that because they have the resources. We're a 140-person shop. Right? We're willing to get creative and work with some local agencies to see what we can do, but it's going to be a lot more of a grassroots effort.
Very good.
One other question,
And I know
are
your question
you
as well.
treated, when you put those, I used to call them telephone poles, they're not telephone poles anymore, I guess they're power poles, because the telephone line.
Utility
Utility
poles.
poles, that's
Atta
it.
girl, nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you, girl.
Take all the help I
There
can
you
get
go.
on that.
Great customer advice
Do you
as well.
have the right to put your things there?
Yeah, so when everything deregulated in 1996, they allowed right-of-way to CLECs, competitive local exchange carriers.
Okay,
So there's the telephone space, which is
so you're
under the
not
power
hindered
space.
by that?
Not at all. We can attach anywhere as long as those
So
attachments
you
get
would
approved.
attach, I would assume, to NICEAG's pole,
Correct.
and they can't do
And then
anything
we just
about it?
pay a fee for that. So it's a great line of business for them as well.
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah.
so there's no problem putting them up if there's
None
a demand?
whatsoever.
Okay, and so you think that you would be able to provide the speed, but only within a certain
Only where they have fiber,
radius
Correct.
of the fiber?
right.
Sounds pretty short.
Yeah, very. Because we've done it before.
Yeah, I mean, it's limited distance is what I meant.
Correct.
Okay.
And you had a question
I
too?
did. You may have answered it, but I didn't understand it. How would you partner with us if we were to seek the government grants?
I think it would require further conversation, right? So we've had a lot of local municipalities who have gone after grant money.
Have you partnered with them in the past and done this? Did they go for the grant money? You provide the private sector?
Yes, so if they go for the grant, they write the grant, they garnish the funds up front, and then we provide the services. We'd absolutely do that, and we've done it before.
Would that suffice for our public-private partnership or an arrangement such as that?
I would assume that it would.
Absolutely.
Well, if you want to bring high-speed internet to every home in the county,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen without,
Without, there's partnership, absolutely, that's required, and
I can't imagine.
there's power in that public-private partnership.
Right.
That's where we've seen success, so.
And right now you have like fiber on Route 12. You're contemplating going from Route 12 to New Berlin possibly?
Correct.
Right along the main road, is that the way you do that, or? you know,
So it
would go
depends on those 6 businesses that we meet with on Friday, and we'll see what their interest is.
Yeah.
A lot of it is based on contracts,
Sure.
right? So if they're already paying $10,000 a month to their carrier, if they're under contract, they're not gonna leave for that.
But just as a hypothetical, let's say
Yeah.
you've built out from your Route 12 fiber optic to New Berlin in
Yep.
some fashion. Could the county then tap into that line, put antennas up to feed the people in between?
Absolutely. Yep. And that's what we've done in other
I'll
communities.
bet they're going right by.
So you allow the
your-
businesses to
Sure.
fund.
Columbus.
Let's go to Columbus.
Yeah, that's what you allow, the businesses are essentially then funding the communications for the residents. So,
Very good.
great.
Thank
Thank
you very
you guys
much.
so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for waiting and thanks
Yeah,
for
and hey,
doing
start
the fire
using
drill.
this system, this is fantastic.
I'm using it.
Well,
Hi Ruth, thank you for waiting. Well, you did appear as broad type, so, bold type, so.
well, it really was good to hear a lot, especially on the broadband, about what everyone had to say. And I've gotta say, Finger Lakes gives me hope. Now, my big question there is, can we deal with enough residences, I can see some possibility going down County Road 38 to Bainbridge. But that's getting into detail. So what I would like to suggest, because you people have got to be exhausted, and I'm not going to take up a lot of your time, but what I really would suggest here is that we have a subcommittee meeting that is only talking about broadband because of the urgency of this. I'm fully aware that all of you are pretty much on board with it. I do think you fell a little short with phase 1 and phase 2 by just letting it go by. And that's what really prompted our group to get involved in this. Not that you can't do your job, it's just that meeting after meeting and it got by. So I'm here basically to say that time is of the essence. And I think you're all at this point probably aware of that. But a few of the things that I have done, and I'm going to pass these around so we can save time. These were letters, Donna, that Senator Axer and Clifford Crouch sent to you. So that'll save you some time. If you can just pass those around. And also I have Senator Axer. Now, I kind of heard this morning that they're not the chief honchos. Well, I think they are pretty important. If there's someone else you think I need to contact, I certainly will. One of my concerns has been, over and over, is Frontier is a real problem for us. I have gotten the permission from this lady. I have 11 pages here, an hour and a half of what she went through with Frontier to try to be able to get high-speed internet, and how they kept billing her wrong. So this time she said, okay, Ruth, this is it, and I know you're working on broadband. I want them to know what Frontier has done to me. Here's an hour and a half. She's got it documented, what she said, he said, whoever's most important to have this, who's going to be interviewing Frontier, Steve, I would like to at least have them be aware. This is only one of many, many, many. And my concern with Frontier is I wish they would do it. I wish they'd do a good job of it, but they don't have a good track record.
I will certainly
Pass that
bring
around.
it to their attention that their track record is poor and that they have a lot of dissatisfied customers. I am probably more interested in the time that I will have with them on Thursday to understand what they have in place
Yeah.
as it compares to the broadband study that was done and what their intentions are, right? Those are, that's what I really want to focus on. Browbeating somebody for non-performance just, to me, is
Right,
not a
but
great.
we would be wise to pay attention to the past history.
No, believe me, I have struggles with my broadband. My friend Chris McCordova emailed me yesterday.
Called us too.
Right, Benedict's has been down for 3 days. They can't even run the car dealership because they can't order parts.
Okay, one question I had here that I put in bold, and I don't think it was answered today, even in the other meeting, was who is in charge of getting the companies to bid?
Bid on what?
You can't to bid on getting high-speed internet in Shenango County. You can't force them, I know that. Who plays a role here?
Notification of the grant opportunity, I sent that to Plexicom, Frontier, Finger Lakes, no, not HughesNet, TDS, right? And we sent a copy of the map. Those are the 4 players in the community, and Bill Lacey is aware in Sherwood.
And there are no others that you know of.
I shared with you, and within your notebook, there's a sheet that lists all of the ways that you can get broadband in Shenango County at this time.
It's in the blue section.
In the
Sure.
blue section. The only other ones that I might potentially be participants would be AT&T and Verizon. And I have a tentative meeting set up with Cassandra Barrows from AT&T, and Finger Lakes will make a connection for us with Verizon because the backbone of their system design was to provide fiber optic connectivity to Verizon towers.
Can I just ask I know Steve is much more versed in the details of this, but it sounds like you're saying, who is the source to compel
Yeah.
these companies to do it?
Push.
Well, it's going to be a matter of who's got the money to pay the bill. That's the way I see it. Now, if I'm wrong, please, committee, let me know. But somebody has to have the funding to do this. Right now, the market forces are not going to allow, the free market is not going to step in and people are going to do this.
But everything.
And let me just finish what I'm saying, and then you can answer me. Let me just finish. At the same time, broadband and high-speed internet, it's not a human right. It's a product. It's a source. It has to be given. So if the government stays out of it, the free market right now is not going to do it.
Right.
That's why we're working on phase 3 of this program to see if we can infuse capital into our coffers so we can present this as a plan. So right now we're really early on, but if we go after the money, that's how it starts. Unfortunately, because we can't compel any company to go in and just provide this service. And they're not in charity work. They are a business, and they want to be able to turn a profit.
So you're telling me these companies know there's 80% grant money. Now, everything I heard today is, we don't want to deal with grant money. Is that really so?
No, that was one. No, excuse me. Let's correct the record
Okay,
because maybe I'm wrong here. The vendor, the supplier of the services says we don't work with grant money. But I would bet very strongly, or put money on it, that they would accept it if it came from us. So let's wait and see. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here.
Okay.
We have a grant to pursue,
Okay.
and that really is our only option right now.
You give me hope, okay?
Yeah.
I really like the questions that you asked today, and I felt that you were cutting to the chase with a lot of it. But if I could get one thing for this group to do, and that is set up a subcommittee that all we're talking about is this broadband. Why? Because we're on a time frame here.
We will take it up as a committee, but right now we're not going to establish any subcommittee right now. We are a committee standing, and if we can't do it as a committee, if a subcommittee is better, we'll let you know. But as of now, I myself, unless there's a resolution to create a subcommittee, I don't want to do that. I don't want to complicate it, which is one more meeting. I think the meeting should be driven by where we stand
Okay.
and driven by our planning department.
And I,
Thank you.
yeah, I'd say the planning department is the key to the,
They are a
Great
freestanding
effort.
subcommittee to begin with.
pretty
Well,
much.
I am
Right.
encouraged that you're on board now.
Very good.
So, all right,
Okay,
that's
thank you
it.
very much.
That's it.